we introduce to you our assignment on TPS 582 Project Management. This assignment is called Understand and Meeting Client Expectation in Urban Development Project. Professional Urban Planning in Malaysia that we choose is TPR Fathuddin Kamarudin. This point about understanding and meeting client expectation in urban development project. The definition of a successful project is to prioritize customer demand satisfaction and expectation. The project manager needs to act to control all customer requests. Project managers need to understand an expectation of the various stakeholders and be motivate them to contribute to the project success. In addition, the main thing in project management is to get a little idea of the customer wishes is an essential component of meeting customer satisfaction and approval.
TPR Fathuddin is well known among planning professionals under the Youth Wing of Malaysia Institute of Planners. Let's dive in and get to know TPR Fat more on his upbringing and all his achievements. Let's have TPR Fat explain his background and all his projects.
Okay, nama saya Fathuddin bin Kamarudin. Saya degree di UiTM Shah Alam. So, saya graduated from UiTM Shah Alam lah, 2010. Saya graduate, saya join ada satu planning firm, nama dia KW Associate Planners yang Berhad. I was there for about 6 years. Selepas 6 tahun di sana, saya pergi ke Perbadanan Perumahan Rakyat Satu Malaysia. Selepas itu, dalam about 2 years, saya pergi ke Sindian Properties. Saya ada di situ for about 2 years lah. Selepas 2 tahun di sana, saya pergi ke GDP Planners. Saya sekarang berada di GDP Planners lah semenjak tahun 2018. Currently ni I'm working together with my team on few interesting project lah. Salah satunya project master plan. Kita ada few master plan in hand at the moment. On master plan lah, mainly on master plan. From 100 over acres to up to extent about 500 acres lah. Different approach. Ada satu master plan ni dia memang purely for public interest. Dia berkenaan dengan park, which is huge park. Taman awam lah yang besar. Dia satu lagi projek tu memang projek property developer lah, residential development. It's a mix development component kat situ. Kita ada residential, kita ada commercial component and others.
How about TPR Fathuddin for these questions?
Dekat dalam projek, in real life pun, you be given a brief, project brief. But it depends. Some client dia tak bagi project brief. Dia minta you develop the project brief together with them. So how to manage client expectation is actually to go back to project brief. So you go through the project brief. Dekat situ dia state clearly the scope, the expectations, the deliverables, the timeline and so on. The development components semua dekat dalam tu sometimes. But again, project brief ni is not cast in stone. Dia bukannya you kena follow terus, main tak boleh berubah. Dia boleh berubah. Project brief ni is fluid because dia evolve depending on the project needs. That's why master plan tu or whatever your design has to be flexible as possible. Dia tak boleh rigid. And jadi nak manage client expectations, you go to the project brief. Again, macam kami pula, not just go back to the project brief, but understanding, trying to understand where the client coming from. I mean, in terms of the company itself, the client, the aspirations of the client, the visions of the client, understanding what kind of product do they want, what kind of marketing or branding strategy that do they have. So setiap client dia ada different approach.
As a town planner, understanding the client needs and requirements involve a lot of way. this to make sure the process of beginning the project will be easy and done with the right process. For example, before the project begins, mostly the clients will have a development briefing to make sure all the process and flow of the development project will be easy to conduct and make discussion together with the client involved. As a town planner, we must understand what and where the background of the clients coming from in terms of company itself. For example, the company of the client, the vision of the client, the experience of the client, and trying to understanding what kind of product they want to marketing and their strategy that they have to show and explore it in any project involved in their development project.
The most important thing of understanding client expectation is being honest. Being honest from the very beginning is important to managing client expectations, as planners is one of the professions that bridge between multiple clients and stakeholders directly and indirectly. If you can't guarantee something, be clear about it. It's always better to underpromise and overdeliver. This is to ensure that it doesn't affect what the client needs and it doesn't affect the end products, which indirectly affect potential user and its surrounding. Next, a planner must have the appropriate and adequate knowledge of the planning process. We must educate the clients to understand that there are a lot of guidelines and procedures that need to adhere. Remember that many clients don't actually know much about the creative and technical process of planning. So take this chance to educate them about the do and don'ts of planning and what are the impact of our projects.
How was the problem and how TPR Fathuddin manage it?
Banyak cabaran lah kalau you as a planner pun, because planner ni they look at the social aspect unlike any other consultant. Kalau other consultant, for example kalau infra, M&E, civil semua, they look at specific item tau. They not to say they disregard, but they less emphasize on the impact towards maybe surrounding development, toward public kan. Macam kita kena study benda-benda macam tu. Jadi kalau nak ikutkan, whenever you do planning ni, cabaran yang paling sukar sekali adalah to strike a balance tau. Balance in term of the client needs dengan the social obligation. I see outside, planning ni is very dynamic and is very complex. You know, each square foot of or each inch of the land tu is very expensive. So you cannot, client dia tak nak, kalau boleh dia tak nak surrender this much, that much. Kalau boleh dia nak try to cut corner. So us as a planner, kita try to convince client lah, you know, this social obligation you still need to fulfill. Ataupun infrastructure is not enough. Later on, if there is a complaint, I mean the branding of the company will be at stake lah. And
For me, one of the issues faced by TPR Fathuddin in dealing with problem with client is to strike a balance between client needs and social obligation. As an example, the client greatly appreciate the value of land or area that can be developed for profit and differ from the role of planner in meet the social needs such as infrastructure, facilities, green areas and others. Therefore, as a planner, we must convince the client with the evidence or data obtained in a project done. In addition, the issue between the planner and the client is the timeline in a project. The job of the planner is to ensure that timeline in its accordance with the needs of the project and manage between main priority and less priority.
Most clients were involved in development project together with the town planner. The problem of the client is they are too concerned in making a profit in every action of the development project. For an urban planner, we must look at the aspect of social, environmental and economic. because it is important so that these three aspects are balanced with the process in doing development project. This is very important so the life of the community will be controlled and live in peace and prosperity. Balancing the three aspects is important in social, environment, and economic in project development.
The part of conclusion, the combination of understanding the making process of development project that involved by urban planner and the clients must have cooperating together all the timeline the process to make sure the project will be managed with well in order to meet all the needs and wants of both parties.
In overall, the task of a planner in a project manager is extensive from various aspects such as social and client needs. Careful planning is very important in ensuring the quality of a project and providing a win-win situation between the two parties.